It's not a loud knock, just precise. 3 even taps, the kind used by people trained to minimize uncertainty. You freeze mid-movement, hand hovering above a half-washed plate. Outside, gravel crunches where no one ever parks. The knock repeats, time to your heartbeat now. You open the door to see 2 figures, posture already memorizing you. One speaks your name exactly once, like closing a file. The other slides a folder across invisible air. You have 11 hours, the first says. Not to pack, not to reconsider, simply to disappear. You glance at the stack of photos on your fridge, the unpaid bill, the silent kitchen light. Pack nothing sentimental. You nod, because saying anything would make it real. When the door shuts behind them, the air itself feels sealed. Somewhere beyond it, your life has already been logged as evidence. The car moves without destination signs, windows dimmed to polite anonymity. Outside, the world slides by in grayscale intersections you almost recognize, now stripped of attachment. The agents speak sparingly, their codes disguised as errands. 2 cartons of milk means a checkpoint cleared. You sit between them, a passenger in your own deletion. Your phone lies muted in a silver envelope on the seat, its screen turned toward the past. No one touches it. At a rest stop, one agent hands you a new wallet, new ID, new face hidden between plastic lamination. It feels too light to be a life. The safe motel smells of disinfectant and conditional freedom. A notepad waits by the bedside. You practice your new name until it stops stinging. You adjust the slant of each letter, trying to make the lie ergonomic. By the 10th signature, you realize it's starting to fit. Weeks layer over you like transparent film. New town, new furniture, new flavor coded as belonging. You work at a regional shipping warehouse now, where conversations rotate around weather and traffic-safe topics, sanitized of history. Your badge bears the name you practiced in the motel. Coworkers repeat it without question. The first time someone laughs and calls you by it, the sound lands softly wrong, like music missing one note. You try on preferences that aren't yours. You order sweet tea, though you once hated it. Pretending becomes habit, then reflex. When your government handler stops by for routine assessment, the questions descend like neutral rain: birthplace, schooling, personal hobbies. You answer perfectly, tone steady, smile correct. He marks a quiet check beside each lie. Passing feels less like victory than erasure. Later, you walk home under identical streetlights, realizing invisibility has its own spotlight. The whole town trusts you, because no one looks close enough to see past the surface. You're thriving precisely because you don't exist. The handler leaves a final note: good assimilation metrics. Recommend stabilization. You fold it neatly, resisting the urge to laugh. Somewhere inside, your original self takes another polite step backward. It happens between aisles, fluorescent purity, the hum of refrigerators. Ordinary safety. You're scanning expiration dates when a voice, too casual to doubt, says your real name. 2 syllables, spoken like reopening a wound. Your hand jerks. A jar of pasta sauce slips, shattering on linoleum. Reflex takes over. You abandon the cart, move toward produce as though admiring fruit. Training scripts unfold quietly in your mind. Do not run. Do not breed your panic. The nearest camera blinks like a mechanical witness. Outside, light feels radioactive. You walk, controlled pace, toward the payphone hidden behind the laundromat. The code phrase tastes wrong now. 2 gallons of water, please. Every leaf on every tree holds your name. An operator says only, understood, then silence. At dawn, a white envelope slides under your apartment door. No return address, no apology, just coordinates and instructions regarding your continuity. You pack efficiently, all neutral items, no scent of memory. As dawn leaks flatly into the window, you realize how exposed routine can be. The grocery receipt, still in your pocket, lists nothing purchased. Only a timestamp marking the exact moment you stopped being safe. The number on your new mailbox has no curves, just straight angles. Something about that feels deliberate. A second identity now, yet easier to arrange than the first. You no longer find any reason to abbreviate words. Somewhere along the line, you stopped using contractions. Language itself drew in formal edges to keep feeling compartmentalized. Each syllable leaves less residue. Out in public, you speak with polite precision, a citizen shaped by caution. It is impossible to sound wrong when your entire purpose is to be average. Morning begins the same way. Regulated breakfast, government-approved vitamins, a walk through a town too recently constructed to contain real ghosts. The rhythm is satisfying in its absence of choice. The local bank greets you by name, the artificial one, and the teller's smile feels safely pre-written. You carry on small talk exactly 15 seconds longer than needed, because that is what belonging looks like. Your reflection grows obedient. The more time you spend meeting its eyes, the more something inside you loosens its grip. The agency psychologist calls this stabilization. You nod during appointments, hear the pen's soft tapping as notes are taken about your progress. How do you feel about your integration? She asks. Same question every month. You answer with mastery, content but cautious, grateful yet mindful. She writes down compliance markers that will later determine how much freedom you deserve. At night, you dream of court testimonies replaying through opaque glass. The faces blur, voices swap timbres until even guilt becomes a bureaucratic category. You remember hands on a Bible, a flashbulb, an oath. Then the dream edits itself, words unintelligible, mouths moving without sound. You wake before dawn, throat dry, as if you had confessed and were punished in the same breath. The handler calls intermittently, tone unemotional but cordial. Everything stable? He asks. You say yes, because the word no longer suits your file. He tells you a relocation budget is pending, though you have stopped thinking of places as destinations. You measure time instead in identities maintained without incident. On weekends, you volunteer at a community garden. The soil balances something inside you, though you're careful not to assign it meaning. Your gloves are new every week, sterile, unblemished kind. A neighbor comments that you seem peaceful. You thank her, then practice that neutrality later in the mirror. No one has ever been safer. Sometimes, walking home, you imagine the original you still stands on some unseen corner, watching the sanitized imitation move efficiently through its programmed routine. You would wave, but anonymity is the protocol now. Emotional detachment has turned into an art form, a museum of still images cataloged as recovery. There is even a quiet pride in your own uniform emptiness. By the time evening falls, you have forgotten whether you ever preferred contraction, laughter, or names that carried history. The apartment hums its sterile hum, rhythmic as machinery. You prepare dinner by muscle memory, follow every instruction exactly, eat without improvising. Outside, the world turns dark obediently. You watch your reflection fade into the window pane until it becomes pure silhouette, cooperative, unfamiliar, perfect. Years pass with bureaucratic stillness, calendar pages replaced by renewals. Then, one afternoon, your handler's voice surfaces through static, casual, final. Later that day, you see it, your real name printed in an obituary column, arranged between strangers. No photo, only dates closing perfectly around who you were. The article says you died peacefully in sleep. You study the sentence, unsure if it's mercy or punctuation. You print the page, smooth its edges on the table until the paper warms under your hands. The typeface feels gentle enough to believe. Outside, a low dusk thickens the windows, muting everything. For the first time, there are no instructions waiting. You brush your teeth, fold away the counterfeit wallet, and lie still beneath the government sheets. The air carries no expectation, no memory, no noise. When sleep arrives, it feels like permission.